going to look at two new personalities, individuals that will come in Sanatana Dharma. One is Balarāma, and by default his name is also Saṅkarṣaṇa. Another is Parīkṣit. One who attracts or one who pulls oneself from something. Achyutaya, if you connect that name together with this, is somebody who will never let you down person. Yeah. And the son of Varuna will be called Varunaya. Who is the son of Varuna? You can think of it as a tree of knowledge. You can think of it as a tree of manifestation. Mahabharata war is a war between Pandavas and Kauravas. It's all coming from the same family. Yet here the discussion in this verse is about something that is more than integration. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Jai Shri Ram. Welcome back to the Clay Studios oil painting vlog number 57 of Sri Vishnu Sahasranamavali. This is a painting that follows the principle of calligram or micrography, using which the 1000 names of Sri Vishnu are getting painted. While the process is going on, I'm also trying to understand the deeper meanings lying underneath these names with the help of scriptures from Sanatana Dharma. Whatever I am learning as an amateur, I'm also sharing with you via these weekly vlogs. In a typical vlog, you can expect that I'm covering 10 names and their meanings, taking tangential perspectives into Sanatana Dharma. We have covered already names up to 550 in the previous vlogs. Though we are doing 10 names in each of the videos, you will see me constantly cross-referencing the vlogs, just because of the reason that the names are thoroughly interconnected, and the more you understand the depth of these meanings, the depth of the names, the more helpful it is for you to find some tangential solutions to your challenges in personal life or professional life. At least that's what I have been interpreting and using for my own growth. I hence urge you to try looking into the previous vlogs and come back to this. So as I had mentioned, we start with the 551st name and go on up to 560th name today in this vlog, and then we are going to look at two new personalities by the name Saṅkarṣaṇa, the personality of Balarāma, the brother of Krishna avatar, and another person that is privy to the Shrimad Bhagavadam, who is Parīkṣit. How are they connected to this name Saṅkarṣaṇa? That's what we are going to look at in today's session. Without much ado, let's get on to the names and the meanings first, starting with the 551st name, which is Om Dhrudaya Namaha, which means one who stands all and survives all challenges. 552nd name is Om Saṅkarṣaṇaya Achyutaya Namaha. So Saṅkarṣaṇaya, by default the name represents one who attracts or one who pulls oneself from something. Achyutaya, if you connect that name together with this, is somebody who will never let you down. So this personality can be found in two persons, two individuals that will come in Sanatana Dharma. One is Balarāma, and by default his name is also Saṅkarṣaṇa. Another is Parīkṣit. This is what we are going to look at in the storyline today. So let's move on to the next name and the meaning. 553rd name is Om Varunaya Namaha. The evening sun is called Varuna because he withdraws the rays into himself. The Saṅkarṣaṇa aspect is here, withdrawing something. So the evening, so the Aruna is the morning sun, early morning sun, where there's orangish hue coming out of the sun rays. Varuna is the opposite of Aruna, where he withdraws that. There is again the evening orangish pinkish hue when the sun is setting, isn't it? So that's the Varuna mentioned here. And there is also another interpretation of Deva who presides over the water element. Varuna is also Varuna Deva by default, the water element. The rain also is called as Varuna Deva. So there are two interpretations. Now we move on to 554th name, Om Varunaya Namaha. Yeah. So Varuna is the we have discussed as two personalities. We can think of him as one person, yeah. And the son of Varuna will be called Varunaya. Who is the son of Varuna? Bhrigu is the son of Varuna. So, and there is also other sons of Varuna. So there is Vashishta or Agastya also are sons of Varuna. So Varuna Deva's son is Varunaya. So it could be Maharishi Bhrigu, Vashishta, Agastya. By now we have also touched upon the sages. When we look at the Sahasranamam by per se, it's not just the Vishnu's names. It's all the devotees and the sages that are working around Sanatana Dharma. Their names are also praised and find a place in the Sahasranama. Maharishi Bhrigu, Vashishta, Agastya, it could be anyone. So Varunaya is the son of Varuna. 555 is Om Vrikshaya Namaha. So Vriksha could point to something like a tree. Let's see what the meaning is here. One who is unshakable like a tree is, so Vrikshaya Namaha. That's one interpretation. Another interpretation is the tree through which the whole process of germination, Prakriti, manifests. So you can think of it as a tree of knowledge. You can think of it as a tree of manifestation or such. So this is an unshakable tree though. 556th name is Om Pushkarakshaya Namaha. Pushkaram should refer to lotus. The eyes, let's see. Okay, so his eyes resemble petals of the white lotus. Pushkarakshaya Namaha has one of that interpretation. Another is one who shines as the light of consciousness when meditated upon in the lotus of the heart. That is another interpretation. Beautiful. Moving on to the 557th name, Om Mahamanase Namaha. So this refers to one who fulfills the three functions, that is creation, sustenance and dissolution of the universe by his mind alone. It's a great mind is another interpretation. So Manase is that the mind is Maha, is so big that he is through his mind able to manifest the creation, sustenance and dissolution of the universe. Yeah. 558th name is Om Bhagavate Namaha. This refers to the origin, dissolution, the bondage and salvation of creatures, their knowledge, the ignorance, all parts of this, all components. One who knows everything is the Bhagavan, and hence he is called Bhagavate. Yes, I think there is always, one favorite mantra we say is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yeah. So the Bhagavate here is referring to this aspect of one who knows all. Yeah. The Lord of all the powers and splendors. That's also another interpretation. 559th name is Om Bhagagne Namaha. This refers to destroyer of darkness, one who withdraws the bhagas, beginning of lordliness into himself at the time of dissolution. So he is the one that is destroying the darkness, or again withdrawing something. The withdrawal, Saṅkarṣaṇa, is coming back and forth again and again in these set of names I can see. 560th name is Om Anandine Namaha. This refers to one whose nature is Ananda, bliss, the form of bliss. So yes, now we come to close of the 10 names and the meanings. Now we are ready for Saṅkarṣaṇaya. So before we get into the story of Balarāma or Parīkṣit, let's look at the verse from Shrimad Bhagavadam, Canto 4, chapter 24, verse 35. Here it goes. Saṅkarṣaṇāya sūkṣmāya durantāya antakāya cha namaha vishvaprabodāya pradyumnāya antaha atmane. So let's look at the meaning. Saṅkarṣaṇāya refers to onto the master of integration, sūkṣmāya onto the subtle unmanifested material ingredients, durantāya onto the unsurpassable, antakāya onto the master of disintegration, cha namaha also obeisance, vishvaprabodāya refers to one onto the master of the development of universe, pradyumnāya onto the Lord Pradyumna, antaha atmane onto the super soul in everyone's heart. Let's connect these names together and find the meaning. So here this verse goes like this. My dear Lord, you are the origin of subtle material ingredients, master of integration and disintegration, the predominating deity named Saṅkarṣaṇa, and master of intelligent in the predominating deity Pradyumna. Therefore, I offer respectful obeisance unto you. So let's discuss a little bit of science here. Scientists have discovered law of gravity, and they maintain that the integration of objects, how does it work, the material energy and so on. Yet here the discussion in this verse is about something that is more than integration. There is also discussion of the devastation that happens by disintegrating. So the blazing fire emanating from his mouth can possibly, end the cosmos. So both the integration and disintegration is discussed in this verse. So that is the power of Saṅkarṣaṇa. And we are going to look at the name also from the perspective of these personalities that are coming through in this Sanatana Dharma. The first one being Balarāma. Balarāma is also called Saṅkarṣaṇa, the way he was born. So Krishna's elder brother, you can always say. Vishnu, you can always see Vishnu lying on Adishesha. Adishesha manifests when Vishnu manifests as Krishna avatar. Adishesha manifests as Saṅkarṣaṇa or Balarāma, the elder brother of Krishna. And that, how does it happen? Birth of Krishna is something that we need to go into detail, but we cannot right now. But for a higher level perspective, the situation so happens that both the mother and the father of Krishna are put in jail by the mother's own brother, because he fears his own death to be coming from or through one of the sons, precisely the 8th son of Devaki, and that's also a reason why he enslaves his own sister and brother-in-law. What he does is something unacceptable. He waits for the birth of the children and he kills them one by one. But the 7th and the 8th child, that is Balarāma and Krishna, make it in spite of all this. And there is a kind of manipulation that happens. And Saṅkarṣaṇa is or Balarāma here is the 7th child in Devaki's womb, where by divine manifestation the fetus gets manifested from Devika's womb, that is the sister's womb, into Rohini, another lady who is living on the other side of Yamuna in Gokul. Yeah, so that is the reason why he is called Saṅkarṣaṇa. Why? Because he is drawn from one womb and withdrawn from one womb, and it's passed on to another womb. So that effect of withdrawal and the energy getting passed on is the meaning behind the name Saṅkarṣaṇa. Here it's so interesting that in the Puranas and all these scriptures which were written zillions of years ago, I don't know how long, the change of a fetus from one womb to other is discussed. So it was possible, it was something that was already interpreted. Of course, in modern day science, this doesn't happen. And in situations where a particular mother is unable to give birth to a child, a surrogate mother plays the role of the mother, the person who is taking care of the seed until it germinates and forms into a child properly and grows the child in her womb and delivers the baby. This is already done in in our scriptures. So that is actually Saṅkarṣaṇa. So it's also not an easy job to take the fetus from one womb to place it in another womb. So the withdrawal and the replacement, the energy itself is called Saṅkarṣaṇa. There is another marvel, miracle that happens in Shrimad Bhagavatam, and that is another Saṅkarṣaṇa, that is Parīkṣit. What happens is, so this is before the birth of Krishna. Balarāma's case is even before the birth of Krishna. Yes, and then Krishna is born and he also has another journey to go through. We're not going to go into that depth, but he journeys from being a child into the young person, and finally finishing Kamsa, his maternal uncle who has been torturing his mother, and so on. So everything happens, and at a stage the Mahabharata war also happens, and the Kurukshetra happens. So everything is done with. Mahabharata is over, and Srimad Bhagavadam is actually something that happens after Mahabharata. And there is something right after the war. Even after the war is done with, there are people who are still in angst and unable to digest the success of the opponent or such. So in a situation, Mahabharata war is a war between Pandavas and Kauravas. It's all coming from the same family, brothers, cousins fighting against each other per se. So Pandavas win the war. From the Kaurava dynasty, there is a person who is actually their guru's son, Ashwatthama, who is unable to accept the defeat. Yeah, so from the defeated party, he's still trying to figure out a way to kill the Pandavas after the war is over, and in that process he puts in what is called a Brahmastra, an arrow that is powerful on the fetus of an unborn child in the womb of Uttara. Uttara ends up being the only woman holding to the last of the Pandavas, the dynasty itself. That's the last child, because in the war and what is proceeding, due to the actions of Ashwatthama, all the children of Pandavas are dead. So it's actually their one and only grandson to be is in the womb of Uttara, and the Astra, Brahmastra, is put against the child. So you can imagine these to be today's weapon that are used to target a particular entity and go behind and get deployed automatically, isn't it? So that was to be there in those days as well, thousands of years ago. So the Brahmastra was such, and it was put against a woman who is holding on to a boy in her womb. It enters the womb and it is about to destroy the child when Lord Krishna himself enters and protects the child from the destruction that is happening because of the Brahmastra. So in that process, again there is a lot of withdrawal of energy and rebirth and such within the womb itself, isn't it? There's a fight within the womb that is happening, and that's Saṅkarṣaṇa. And through that Saṅkarṣaṇa, Parīkṣit is born. That is the child of Uttara that is born safely in spite of all these challenges. Again, Saṅkarṣaṇa. So the two Saṅkarṣaṇas we have looked at. Very interesting stories, mythical stories we can assume. We can connect it to science because we're talking about energy, gravity, integration, disintegration. We talked about, surrogate mother. So a lot of things connect. Do the stories also connect to something from today? What can we learn when there is a lot of, impossible situations that we are facing in life and everything looks dark and it's closing in? There is a sacred force that withdraws the pain, draws us closest to Dharma and shelters us in the womb of cosmic protection. It's a strength that manifests in Balarāma's form or in the subtle power of that is shielded when Parīkṣit is born. So these are there in some form or the other, isn't it? So we will hope that when everything drops and everything goes in the wrong for us, we will still ebb out, looking out for that 1% of hope coming through, manifesting through the way it did for Balarāma and Parīkṣit. Om Saṅkarṣaṇaya Namaha. With that, I will bring to the close of this session. Share your thoughts on such wonderful stories that are seemingly impossible, but then it happens. I think the birth of Jesus Christ also has a lot of connectivity to Lord Krishna. There are a lot of parallels one can draw. That's one for example, but if there is anything else, please do share. Please do share some insights on this Saṅkarṣaṇa and the challenges beyond which successes have happened and how they have manifested and such. Whatever please do share. Let's keep the discussion going. Until we meet in the next session, stay blessed, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay motivated. Thank you. Bye-bye.